What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and this is Cards Lie, the demo version. The full game comes out in just a few days, so I wanted to check out another anti-social deduction game. It's a single-player logic puzzle game where some of the information presented is going to be lies, and we've got to figure out what's what. I believe all we have access to in the tutorial or in the demo is the tutorial version, and these things will not actually be a part until the full game. But let's see what this game has to offer here, going in totally blind, other than, well, I know it's going to look very familiar to some people, and it might even be a little bit deceitful to say that I'm going in totally blind because of how familiar this is going to feel to Demon Bluff. Greetings, traveler. Thank you for coming to our village. We've gathered the suspects and prepared the ritual. You just need to find out who amongst them is a demon. Here are the suspects. So we have the child, the judge, the monk, the candle seller, and the flautist. And we will figure out what all of these characters do as we flip them up. Select and interact with a card to flip it and reveal the villager. Cards with stars on the back have effects that trigger when flipped, so keep that in mind. Okay, so some new mechanics, and that's why I wanted to check this game out. I don't know what it has to offer necessarily, but let's flip over one of these star cards, and we find a monk. I think it just talked to me. I'm not sure. I can't quite hear, but the monk only speaks if corrupted. And it says greetings. It spoke. Only speaks if corrupted. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So otherwise a monk is just going to take a vow of silence. But only speaks if corrupted. So if we're borrowing the exact same terminology from Demon Bluff, corrupted means like good, but lying for some reason. Let's reveal the rest of the cards and see what else we can learn. Well, we find a silent monk here next, and I do think that probably just means that this monk is evil in a double claim with the good monk. This is kind of a baby's first village here. We've got a judge with a star on it. Oh, and the judge, we still have to use its ability. So I think they were telling us that these two cards are activate cards, and then these three cards are cards that immediately give us information. The candle seller tells us that 4 is good. Some cards will announce information about other villages when revealed, such as the monk. Others, like the judge, require you to interact with the card again. These cards are marked with a star on the front. Okay, so you know if a card is going to be an activate card before you flip it over. That's an interesting mechanic. Let's see if this monk is lying. They are. And the flautist, what does the flautist do? If you ever need help, you can use a hint card accessible in your hint menu. I see. So I did think I saw something like this. I did think I saw when I was checking out the Steam page, but we basically have like abilities that we can carry with us throughout the different villages. I don't think we're going to need a hint on this one, and I believe we make our kill by selecting this center, and then I'm going to kill the monk that's talking to us. And that was the victory. We found the child, which is the demon. We'll just figure out what these cards do as we flip them over. And I'll start off with number 1 this time. The nearest evil is 2 spaces away. We've seen abilities like this before. This is Demon Bluff's hunter character. And so I don't know if... So the ghost is going to be the demon. Disguised, but not corrupted. Ah, okay. This demon does not lie. So being able to figure out what's evil and what's good is a little bit strange with the current layout of the game, but the ghost is clearly the one that we have to find. And I should have taken a look at the child more, but I guess the child is corrupted, whereas the ghost doesn't lie. So let's see what this says. The farmer, select one character, announce if it or one of its neighbors is disguised. So let's have the farmer select. Oh. Select one character. Can I select here? Oh, I have to select something face up. That's right. These are not characters yet. That makes sense. So let's just flip over this. The nearest evil is 0 spaces away. I had a feeling the ghost was going to be kind of evil to catch, or kind of easy to catch. Let's simply kill the ghost and move along because, yeah, the ghost outs themselves. And the child is a little bit trickier to spot. The priest is disguised and corrupted, and villagers don't recognize it as evil. Okay, an evil that registers as good. So we are getting some new mechanics in here as well. And the prophet is a demon that is disguised and corrupted. Start of game, 2 random villagers are considered evil? Oh, okay. So now we have 4 evils to find, is that right? Let's take a look at some of these hint cards as well. We now have 4 different hints that we can use, and I might be blocking some of this text. Let me actually move myself down to cover up that we are in the demo version. I thought that my health was going to be down here, but the health is up here, it seems like. We have 2 chances, and it's probably two chances per village, similar to Demon Bluff. So first we have all demons look down. On use announces if all demons are on the lower half of the board. 1 demon is silent. On use, a random demon becomes silenced. Okay. Right neighbor told the truth. Select 1 character. Announce if their clockwise neighbor is telling the truth. And only 1 lies today. On use announces how many living characters are currently corrupted. Okay, sure. It's a neat, it's a new mechanic to have added into the game. And this also has a new icon on it for us. A second, like, it's got the star, but then it also has, like, some bandages or something. Oh, this is the Widower. On reveal, announce an evil character, but the Widower has been silenced. Why has the Widower been silenced? That must mean that one of these other cards does some silencing. Starts silenced. On reveal, announce an evil character. Starts silence. The Milkman selects a character, unsilence them. If corrupted, silence a random character instead. I see. Considered evil by other characters. Select 1 character, reveal if they are lying. That's just a direct port from Demon Bluff, but we do have definitely some new mechanics here. And on reveal, announce if there's an evil character on an odd board space. So I imagine this is the scribe. An odd board space holds an evil character. So this scribe is either telling us that 3 or 5 or 7 is evil. Both of these demons are corrupted, which means this can never be a demon. Okay, so the scribe is good. We'll see how much that helps us here. We also have a judge, which we can potentially point to the scribe to see if the scribe is lying. We have a grandmother, which is like the wretch. And I don't know if we should assume that the grandmother can never be evil. But there is also no form of like outcasts or anything in this game. We have a judge, so we have a double claim, and I'm imagining double claims are not allowed. So we are supposed to take these milkmen and point them at the widower. Oh, wait, what? I'm not sure what happened there. I selected this milkman and I think it just like auto-used. But I think it's because this milkman is bad. That was our priest. Okay, so we found them out, and the widower is telling us 3 is evil, but we know that 3 is evil because they're the grandmother. So I think we have to use these judges on the scribe. This judge says that 1 is lying. Wait. Oh, we know that the scribe is telling the truth because they're pointing at the grandmother. Oh, so that's another reason that we know that they're telling the truth. Let's see if this judge thinks that this scribe is lying. They think that this judge is telling the truth, and so we just kill this judge. And there we go. That is a victory. We get 2 hint cards after a victory. I will say I don't know what the 1 card was talking about like making other villagers evil, but looks like it didn't come up. Let's take a look at the evils. This time we have the child, which is disguised and corrupted. Okay, I think that the child actually makes sense. There's things that like reference the demon child, Damien or something like that, right? And then we have the ragged jester, disguised and corrupted. Start of game, 2 random villagers become corrupted jesters. Oh, corrupted jesters. I see. Okay. And we've seen this character before. Start of game, start with an extra life. If corrupted, don't gain an extra life. We didn't gain an extra life. So I'm not going to trust any bakers that we find. Let's see what we do have here. I'm just going to start off with number 1. But we should have 2 corrupted jesters on this board. So I'm not going to look into this jester too hard just yet. The flautist says select 1 character, announce if it has any evil neighbors. Okay. The magician says that between 8, 4, and 1, there is a disguise. 1, 4... and 8. We'll have to take a look at that in a second. The cellist says, I am not next to a disguised character. Clearing its neighbors, it's basically an empath, but with a slightly different, or a lover, but with slightly different wording there. And this, a second jester. I wonder if we'll have 3 jesters here and only one of them is evil, but they're all corrupted. That could be tough. I wonder if we would just have to pick all of the jesters. I'm not sure. The innkeeper, select 1 character, announce their true identity. This cellist doesn't seem to believe it's next to a disguised character. However, this magician is pointing at 2 jesters plus the cellist, which could mean that, like, both of these are evil now. Let's see what else we can find. We find the juggler. Select 3 characters, announce how many are lying. Slightly different than the jester. Lying versus evil, though. Okay, the difference is going to be that the jesters, because they're corrupted, are always lying, even though they're not evil. So it seems very tough to distinguish between these 3 jesters. We'll see what we can come up with, though. We have the baker. Oh, that did give us an extra heart. When we flipped it over, it gave us an extra heart. Okay, I now trust the baker. I do not trust another jester. The fact that we have 4 jesters, I think means that among them, 2 have to be corrupted. Oh, could 1 be good? 1 could be good. Ah, and this says that 1 is disguised, which means between 1 and 7... I'm sorry, like 1 could be good and not corrupted is actually what I mean. I believe that this cellist is now not next to a disguised character. I think that probably 2 of these jesters are just evil. And if we kill all of the jesters, we should win, right? Because we'll just use our life. I wonder if there is a better way through this. I have an idea. Let's use the innkeeper on jester number 1. That's a jester, which means that this one is probably our disguised character that the magician is talking about. No. Huh. But 1 is a jester. If 4 is disguised... If 4 is disguised, then that kind of breaks down the other logic here because their neighbors could be wrong. But this is kind of... So it seems like this would have to be evil with its neighbors, but it can't be because we have these jesters over here, and at least one of these jesters has to be evil. Let's see with this juggler how many of these are lying. Among 8, 10, and 1, there are 2 liars. Oh. So I'm kind of taking that to mean we had 1 real jester at the start of the game. We have 1 demon disguised as a jester, and 2 corrupt ones. I guess no, that means this information was always corrupt. What else do we have? A flautist. Announce if it has any evil neighbors. Let's use the flautist on itself. 3 or 1 are evil. I feel like it has to be 3. But then this cellist would also need to be evil. Oops. I don't feel I'm ready to... I don't think I've come to a decision yet. Unless there's other corruption here. Huh. I don't see how it could be 5 or 3. Because if it's 5 or 3, then what is this cellist doing? This cellist is just wrong. And if this cellist is wrong, they have to be evil. I'm not sure. Let's maybe use a hint card, huh? Oh, we only have 4 hint cards. So, announces if all demons are on the lower half of the board. Oh, do I have 2 copies of One Demon is Silent? A random demon becomes silent. Announce if their clockwise neighbor is telling the truth. Announces how many living characters are currently corrupted. Could be somewhat useful. Let's use One Demon is Silent. And that took out the flautist. That was not what I was expecting. Okay, so then let's kill them. That was the child. And that means that none of the child's neighbors are evil, because the child said that it had an evil neighbor. So 1 and 3 are good. Which means that 4 is disguised. Wait, can this tell the truth? No, this is disguised and corrupted. I am, if corrupted, the free... Well, we don't have a peddler, so we don't have to worry about the peddler here. And what is this? So this is nothing for us right now, but sometimes there's additional hints in there, I suppose. Huh. I am really not sure. But I guess let's, like, try to use some of these gestures. There are 2 evils. There are 1 evils. There are 2 evils. And we know that among 8, 10, and 1, there are 2 liars. Meaning, the 1 piece of outlying information is the truth. This is a lie. This is a lie. So I think I'm going to kill this. Okay. Victory. Can I look at that round, though, and see exactly how we got that? I mean, I know I used, like, some logic, but what is the magician talking about? Oh, the magician was talking about 8, and I thought it was talking about 7. Well, that solves that mystery. I just got confused on the numbers. Okay, that was a lot simpler than I thought it was. I thought I killed this jester because I thought that they were 8. But, no, I was just wrong. Okay. All right. Sure. That puzzle was a lot easier than I thought it was. I got distracted by some of the other stuff going on there, but ultimately we were able to figure it out using some of the other information. We also used a hint card, but we got there and still had a heart or 2 to spare, right? Because of the baker. The cracked doll is a disguised and corrupted demon. Corrupts any hint card that targets it. Okay, well, there go the hint cards. The demons can interact with them. And non-targeting hint cards are unaffected. Sure. I mean, if you target it and your hint card gets corrupted, then, like, you can potentially figure that out. Though maybe not always. Yeah, the fact that your hint cards can be corrupted is kind of cool. And then we have a demon which says start of game, corrupt a villager. Okay, doesn't seem like it has to be next to it. Doesn't seem like there's any rules there. It is simply going to corrupt a villager. Let's start with number 1 and hope to keep that in, keep our numbers straight here. We have a thief, which says on death, gain 2 hint cards, but if corrupted, do nothing. Okay, I like that. So there's a reason to potentially kill the thief. So I think that potentially when you clicked on this video or saw the video, and well, yeah, if you're here, you clicked on the video and you're watching it now, I think there was like a potential, and I've seen some people writing this game off as just purely a Demon Bluff clone, but that's why I wanted to check it out to see what it had to offer that was unique. And the hint system is unique and rewarding you for killing cards. Like, we might actually choose to kill this thief and use one of our lives to get an additional hint. And that could be the correct thing to do, because the thief is like kind of a baddie, right? 5 is adjacent to an evil character, says the cobbler. So according to the cobbler, either 4 or 6 are evil. Not having the numbers before you flip stuff up is a little bit confusing sometimes. The gravedigger did not silence 7. On reveal a random face down card and silence them if they are evil. Oh, okay. So either 3 and 7 are in cahoots with each other, or 3 and 7 are good and 2 is just evil. I think 2 is just evil, which also clears 4 and 6. Let's take a look at 4 and 6. Well, 4 is silenced, but we'll take a look at the widower. Starts silenced. Right. Okay. The weaver, select 3 characters, announce if they have anything in common. That is pretty... There's a lot of ways that could go. Like, can you announce, like, do they all have to have something in common? So, like, if you select 2 goods and 1 bad, then they don't have anything in common. But what if you select 3 corrupted cards, 2 evil and 1 good? Then you could learn that they're all corrupted, potentially, right? That makes sense to me. The archer, which is the nearest evil is 4 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Checks out to me. 1, 2, 3, 4 would then possibly have to be the other evil. The drifter says cannot be targeted by villagers or hints, but I could still kill it. Okay, and if corrupted, it doesn't have that ability. The fisherwoman says, on use, unsilence a random character. If corrupted, silence a random character instead. Let's flip this over first, and we find another thief. Okay, well now I don't know which thief to kill, but if we mess up, then we'll get rewarded. Okay. Maybe I kill both thieves, and then I kill the cobbler? That could also make sense to me. Let's see if the fisherwoman works. The widower's unsilenced and tells us that 2 is evil. All of that looks in line to me. Let's kill both of the thieves. That was a real thief. Okay, so now let's kill the fake thief. That was the puppeteer. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't the puppeteer corrupt someone? Well, there's so much information pointing at the cobbler. I don't think that is our corruption. Can we figure out where the corruption is, though? Oh, maybe this was corrupted? Yeah, maybe. Can we still use the ability? No. Okay, well, we'll assume then that the weaver was corrupted because we didn't use the ability. We've been skipping some stuff and sequence breaking here and there just to get into some more stuff. This time, we have the 3-eyed crone, which is a disguised and corrupted demon. Start of game, corrupt all witch. No witches, but magician villagers are corrupted. Oh. Wait, no, there is a category of things that might be considered witches. Grandmother, magician, girl with eye on hands, apprentice, alchemist, and crone. It doesn't look like we have any witches in this village. We do have a magician, so the 3-eyed crone is going to be corrupting the magician. And then, start of game, 2 random villagers are considered evil. Considered evil, I think might mean that they register as evil. But I don't think we have to kill them, because they're not demons. We only have to kill demons. Okay, the magician. 1 is disguised, 8, 7, or 10. But because we have a demon that corrupts magicians, I think that means 8, 7, and 10 are just clear now. But this could be evil as a magician still. An odd board space holds an evil character. The fact that this scribe is on an even space this time leaves a lot more ambiguity, because it could just be that the scribe is a liar. The cook tells us, on use, reveal all previous hints that were corrupted. Okay, that's tricky. Cards that interact with hints means that we will have to use hints to verify them, potentially. And this only reveals previous hints that were corrupted. That feels like a very specific thing, because we don't even have any demons here that can corrupt hints. On reveal, trigger the effect of a random hint card. If corrupted, the free hint is corrupted. Okay, so we're looking for an apprentice first before we use the cook. The alchemist says select one character, trigger the effect of a random hint targeting that character. Oh, so there are cards that allow you to use your hints for free. Which is interesting because there's also some gaming to be had on that. Like, if you want your alchemist and your apprentice abilities to be the best that they can be, you actually kind of want to, like, burn your bad hints. So that way those abilities are stronger. But we will look to that when it comes to it. The cellist announces if any adjacent characters are disguised. They're telling us no. Okay, that's a lot of not disguised characters so far, because we're about to flip into a bunch of other things that can't be disguised. So the girl just straight up says 1 is evil. 4, 3, or 8. Well, it can't be 8. I don't think. Because this magician is corrupted. Okay, so something just happened. The apprentice just gave us a free hint. The hint tells us that number 7 is an evil demon. It just gave us a hint about... Oh gosh. Wait, that is a weird paradox. It is basically telling us that it is evil. But... that means that this hint is corrupted. But how is this corrupted? Oh, the three-eyed crone corrupts the apprentice. That is listed in the corruption. Okay, so we know that this apprentice is now corrupted. Let's flip over some more cards. We have another even scribe, and this is in a counterclaim with the scribe, but also saying that no odd spaces hold an evil character. Which might be true. We know that at least one of the demons is even because one of these scribes is bad. The preacher tells us that 4 is good. I'm willing to buy that for now. This preacher tells us that 5 is evil. Okay, that might be tough. This preacher cannot be disguised, which means that 5 is evil, but there can be things that are evil and not demons. I wonder if we lose health for killing things that are evil but not demons. Probably not. Okay, the other thing I wanted to get to. We know that this hint card is corrupted, so let's cook on it. This cook correctly tells us that this hint is no good, because this apprentice is corrupted by the crone with an extra eyeball or something. Okay, here's what else we know. Well, wait a minute. Oh, this preacher is lying because this alchemist just happens to be evil but isn't a demon, right? No. Oh, I might have to reread the Three-Eyed Crone. All witch and magician villagers are corrupted. All of them. Huh. Well, if this preacher was good, then this preacher has to be bad, right? And then this magician isn't corrupted? Do we only have one of these two demons? I don't see anything that would let us know that. I think that we have all of the demons. Like, I think that all 8 of these cards are just in play, right? Is how this game works. Or all 10? Yeah. So that basically, like, the evils just have to be in the double claims, is how that works. Which means, yeah, there's no disguised characters here. 1 is evil. 4, 3. Well, let's kill the other preacher. So there's our crone. And they were telling us 5 is evil, which means 5 is good. This was telling us 4 is good, which actually just means that 4 is good. Okay. The girl is telling us that 3, 4, and 8. I still don't understand what the prophet is doing. Are considered evil. 2 random villagers are considered evil, but aren't actually evil, maybe. But, like, that could be totally bunking this information, right? The 3-eyed crone seems to have only impacted the apprentice. Because... oh, I see now. It is not that all 3 of these characters are not disguised, is that 2 of them are disguised. And this scribe is our other demon. That's what it was. That was it. Okay. And that seems to be it.
The game is set to release in just a few days. It might actually be out already by the time you're watching this, and I may have another video on the full release, but I don't believe that there is anything left to do in the demo. You can't actually unlock Endless Mode or Nightmare Mode yet. Those are only going to be in the real game, and it also says that the story mode has predetermined rounds, so I don't even think we get anything out of replaying the story mode, but I'm going to do that just so that way you can see if there's anything worth checking out yourself, if there's a reason to download this. And also, I skipped over a bunch of stuff, so maybe we'll go back and look at some of that stuff too in this second playthrough. But if it is exactly the same here, we would expect the monks to be in these 2 positions, and this is the demon monk, right? Okay, no, it's a little different. All right, so let's play it out here for a second. The candle seller says that 1 is good. This is 1, actually, in this game. This is where the clock starts. So this is always going to be good, and this is our judge. And that probably means that these are the 2 evil ones, or the possibilities of where the evil could be, because this is going to be our monk. So it's not going to be a double claim. I guess this could have been a candle seller always, but this is simply our monk, and I now understand a little bit more about what we're doing. Like, this is the size of the village. There's never going to be, like, out-of-play villagers like there are in some other games. This indicates that we have a 5-card village with exactly 1 evil that is going to be disguised and corrupted. So one of these 2 judges is in the wrong, and we know it is going to be this one, because this one is cleared by the candle seller. We do have some hints. Let's see if we can use any of these. Announces if all demons are on the lower half of the board. So half gets tricky in 5. I mean, we can kind of imagine what half is, but you might have to occasionally do some geometry, right? Because, like, a pentagon, these 2 points would be above the halfway point. But I don't think that this is the halfway point. I think the halfway point is, like, right here, right? I don't know how much to read into that, but it does seem like, yeah, this would be like the halfway point line. So we don't have any demon candidates in the lower half of the board. What does this tell us? Announces if there are any corrupted villagers. We don't have any reason for there to be corrupted villagers yet either. Let's save those cards and kill the judge, which is the child, and then move on again. And in this village, I don't believe I read everything here, but we've seen the archer, we've seen the grandmother. I don't think we got to see the farmer, the gardener, or the shepherd, though. So the ghost is not going to lie. That's right. So that might make this one easy. But The shepherd announces 2 good characters, so they're numbers, assumedly. Select 2 characters, learn if any are evil. And then the farmer says, select 1 character, announce if it or one of its neighbors is disguised. Right. Okay, so here's another thing. We should have 2 on reveal cards, 2 select cards, and then the grandmother. These might be, I don't know if the grandmother is considered a star card or not. No, the grandmother's not considered a star card because it doesn't give you any information. So we've already found our double claim. Though, this is a little harder. This archer is saying the nearest evil is 2 spaces away. This archer is saying the nearest evil is 2 spaces away. And that's because our grandmother is right here. Oh, okay. So this time, the archer is not simply pointing at itself. Wait a minute, but the nearest evil, shouldn't the nearest evil still be 0 spaces away? Well, oh well, I'll let you off the hook. This shepherd saying 1 and 3 are good. Yeah, we know that, shepherd. The farmer can point at themselves to let us know about this archer, or they can point at this shepherd maybe and let us know if this archer is disguised. There are no disguised characters between 5, 6, and 4. Oh, so it even looks at 5. Announce if it or one of its neighbors is disguised. Okay, well then I do think it's the archer. But let's see if the gardener thinks that the archer or the shepherd is evil. Yeah, 2 or 5 contains an evil. I wonder why this time this archer was able to point at the grandmother. Maybe there was no grandmother in our previous ghost board, but that is a cool way for the ghost not to just immediately out itself, right? Because that was a little bit silly. All right, now we have some silencing again, and we have the widower. We also have the priest, which villagers don't recognize as evil. And we have the prophet, which I still don't fully understand. But let's see what we can do. Sure. We'll flip over these. No odd board spaces hold an evil character. No odd board spaces hold an evil character. That could possibly be true. Okay. And then a scribe in a double claim, which says an odd board space does hold an evil character. But we know that at least one of our evils has to be even, since both of these are even. Okay. So either this is evil with this one. So either 4 and 6 are evil, or 2 and 1 of the other ones are evil. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's continue flipping. We find the milkman, which we can select 1 character and unsilence them. Seems pretty powerful. Oh, I should have seen if there was a second milkman. But if this was corrupted, it just would have silenced a random character instead. This widower is saying 2 is evil. But one of the evils doesn't register as evil, and some of the good players might register as evil. That is really confusing. We also have the grandmother, which means that this scribe is actually always lying. I did not think about that. We had to have, which means this is good. But it could still be this judge, actually. But it's always this scribe. That is our prophet. Okay, and yeah, maybe we'll use some hint cards. I still don't understand 2 random villagers are considered evil, because that doesn't seem to be coming into play in any of these. And it's kind of, I'm getting similar vibes to when I play modded Demon Bluff, in that not only you can't trust the characters because the cards might lie, you can't trust the hints because the hints might lie, But I also don't necessarily always trust the rules of the game, because there could just be some mistakes, you know? So we have two judges. One of them has to be evil. We know that there is at least one odd. Yeah, that's not... I guess we just use both of the judges on the dead prophet. That one says it's telling the truth. That one says it's lying. It is lying. So that judge is our priest, and that's the solve. I could have used some hint cards there. I want to use some hint cards in this second run through. So let's try to use some right here. We have all demons look down. We could just rip this one right at the start here. Announces if there are any corrupted villagers. A random demon becomes silenced. Select one character. This is really powerful. Left neighbor lied. Select one character. Announce if their counterclockwise neighbor is lying. Okay. This seems insanely powerful, and this is pretty good. Let's just use this right off the rip. And it says, not all demons are below. Oh, if all demons are on the lower half of the board is the only thing it's going to tell us. Okay, so at least one demon is in these top 5. Fair enough. Let's get to flipping. We got a flautist. I'm going to start off at number 1 again. Oh, this is the jester. The jester board. So we're going to have a bunch of jesters down here. Yeah. And now I understand a little bit more of what we're looking at. So this is a 10 card village, right? And, oh, actually, I guess this is the first time that not all cards will be in play, because some of the cards will get replaced with corrupted jesters. And I suppose that means the demons might not always be in a double claim for the first time as well. I'm blocking some of this. I think I'm going to go back through one more time and just take screenshots of all of the characters, but you don't need to know that. We are going to have 2 corrupted jesters and then possibly 1 real one. But let's see if we can find any other genuine double claims, and then we'll make use of some of this information. The baker has to be real. Oh, but not this one. Wait, what does a corrupted baker do? If corrupted, don't gain an extra life. Okay, well, just like Demon Bluff, sometimes it is easy to spot a faker baker, and now we just have to look. Are there any other double claims on the board? It doesn't seem like it. So one of these jesters could be bad. This cellist says, I am not next to a disguised character, so that kind of clears this jester. But it could just mean that this jester is still corrupted. The flautist, select one character, announce if it has any evil neighbors. You know what I'm kind of curious about? Well, I want to solve the puzzle first, but then I am just going to use that hint card because it just seems like busted powerful. When targeted by the hint, trigger the effect of another hint card. Oh, that could be really good. Okay. Select one character, announce their true identity. Select 3 characters, announces how many are lying. Let's use it on the jesters to see if we can trust any of them. There are 2 liars. We can trust one of them, so we might be able to trust this one, or it could be this is corrupted but not disguised, and we still can't trust it and one of these other 2. Select one character, announce if it has any evil neighbors. Let's try that on the juggler. 8 or 6 are evil. So we've narrowed it down now to 6, 8, or potentially 9. But I wonder if the fact that one of these jesters has to tell the truth we can use to our advantage, and 2 will lie again. The innkeeper, select one character, announce their true identity. Okay, that would be too easy. But let's use this jester and let's go let's simply say how many are evil between... Yeah, let's do it between these three. There are 3 evils. So this jester is telling us nothing. What is this jester going to tell us? There are 3 evils, which means this is actually the truthing jester. There are 0 evils. Oh, so it is the flautist. I think it just has to be the flautist now, because this jester was going to tell the truth. Among 8, 6, and 1, there are only 2 liars, says this juggler. So there is no evil jester. We have an evil flautist. Let's use this innkeeper. This should tell us the child, yes, is a child, just so immature. Now, we could still use a hint card on the peddler just to see how this works. So what I'm going to do, one villager think they are a demon. I'm going to use... Oh, that doesn't target. There are corrupted villagers. Yeah, we knew about that. All right, I'm going to use left neighbor lied on the peddler. And I believe... Oh, it just wound up using the same card again. Okay, that wasn't super useful. I was hoping that maybe it would just randomly silence a demon. But not going to get any more information from that. Let's just take out the child flautist, and at least we're getting like some new different stuff. It's not the exact same villages in the exact same order. So if you want to try out the demo and get a little bit more content yourself, you can do so. We've got another 10-card village. Oh yes, with the thief again. Right. That is a really cool mechanic, deciding whether or not you want to kill the thief. Okay, let's just start flipping here. And first we find the Gravedigger, which silenced the Cobbler. The Gravedigger says on reveal, reveal a random face-down card and silence them. Oh, if they are evil. Oh, so the Cobbler is evil. Okay, what are our hints here? Announce information. Select one character. Announce information about the character. Demon always lies. These are the weirdest cards because they feel like they were just translated poorly or something. But yes, Demon always lies. Maybe they're just like off by 1 or something. But Demon always lies says select one character, announce information about the character. Okay. Announce a character that is adjacent to an evil character. You know what? It would be funny if like the text of these cards were hints, like just rules reminders. Oh, the demon always lies. Though that's not true. So I don't know. And demons all looked out as just gobbledygook. But the Cobbler announces a character that is adjacent to an evil character. Right, okay, well that Cobbler's probably just going to be in a double claim in a moment. The nearest evil is 5 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is not possible. So currently, I believe it's the Archer and the Cobbler. Let's see if we flip over another Archer that also points at this one. That thief might be good, but I might just decide to kill it anyways. Can it be targeted by villagers or hints, but can still be killed by you? Right. Oh, a second Gravedigger. Ah. So now I'm thinking it's the Archer and the Gravedigger, but the Gravedigger did not silence the Weaver. So now I think it's the Gravedigger and the Archer, but this Gravedigger says that this is evil. But we need to find double claims, and this Archer doesn't make any sense. Reveal a random face-down card and silence them if they are evil. Oh, I see. The card it reveals is random. This is a evil Gravedigger, so it was able to silence a good Cobbler, but this is a good Gravedigger, so it was unable to silence the good Weaver. And the Archer is also evil because its information is crazy. Select 3 characters, announce if they have anything in common. 3 characters. Huh. I would like to potentially try to utilize that, though. On use, unsilence a random character. There's 2 options for that, so let's see what we want to use that on. We have another archer. This one's saying 3 spaces away. Huh. 1, 2, 3. Let me reread my cards in the round. Oh, okay. So we have the cracked doll corrupts any hint card that targets it. Non-targeting hint cards are unaffected. Corrupts any hint cards that targets it. Okay. But non-targeting hint cards are unaffected. And then we have the puppeteer, which start of game corrupt a villager. And both of these are disguised and corrupted, of course. But that is why we could have a random villager that is also just happening to say gobbledygook. And that's really strong when you also happen to hit the double claim. We might have to use the Weaver on, like, both of these archers and then this Gravedigger. And I think the Weaver will learn that all 3 are corrupted. And then finally we have the Widower. So we can either announce an evil character or we can announce a character that is adjacent to an evil character. That certainly seems stronger, right? But let's try to use the Weaver as well. So I believe that this, and this are all corrupted. They have something in common. And that something in common is that all 3 are corrupted. Because one of these 2 is disguised and corrupted as the demon. This is disguised and corrupted as the demon for sure. And then the other one is corrupted by the puppeteer. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to first kill this Gravedigger. That's the puppeteer. I don't believe that the puppeteer has any sort of adjacency rules or anything like that that lets us know that this archer is bad. But I was hoping that by killing this puppeteer first, that this widower will only choose between these 2 archers. Oh, it chooses. Okay. 2 is adjacent to an evil character. All right. Well, I don't think that we're going to be able to use the thief. Actually, we could. We could here. Because what we could do now, we always have this card. And basically, we could walk out of here. We know that we can win this board. If we simply kill both of the archers, we'll win, right? Because we'll only lose 1 heart in doing that. And even if we mess up, or potentially we lose 0 hearts. So there's even a chance that we could kill the thief and then randomly stab and still get away with it, right? But that leaves a lot of risk. What I'm thinking we could do, though, is we could use this Demon Always Lies card, figure out which of these 2 is the demon, kill the thief, get 2 cards, and then we're up 1 card on the village. And I think that there's some cool gaming in that aspect because I don't actually know if that is the right call. Plus cards seems good, but not all cards are equal. The Demon Always Lies seems to be one of the these 2 are the most powerful cards. So, like, what are the chances that I use this card, kill the thief, and then get 2 totally dud cards? It's definitely possible, but I want to try this out for some content here. And we grabbed 2 more Demon Always Lies, so that was a huge come up then, obviously. Now we can use this card on the archer, and we learn that number 2 is a good villager, which means that this archer is our cracked doll. Oh! That could have been terrible for me. Oh, I got super lucky because the cracked doll is, of course, going to corrupt any hint cards that targets it. Oh, so I totally could have lost there. I just got very, very lucky. There was no way to actually do what I was trying to do. I got lucky. I should have just killed both of the archers and used my hearts for that. Because, yes, that could have gone very, very wrong for me. But
Never punished. Let's see. I believe this might be our final village or our penultimate village. The three-eyed crone is going to corrupt the magician and the apprentice. Oh, and the alchemist. Okay. Corrupt all witch and magician villagers. And the magician is not corrupted in the same way as it is in Demon Bluff. No odd board spaces hold an evil character. Okay. 1 is evil. 2, 5, or 4. And let me just reread these. Yeah, the prophet I don't think works. 2 random villagers are considered evil. I'm just going to ignore that because I don't believe it's been doing anything. And the three-eyed crone does a lot, though. The magician, apprentice, and alchemist are all corrupted. And that is it. Okay. 1 is disguised. 1, 2, or 10. Which means either 2 of them are disguised or none of them. An odd board space holds an evil character. I think that's probably likely to be true, but we have our first double claim. The cook says, reveal all previous hints that were corrupted. Right. And the apprentice triggers the effects of a random hint card. All demons are on even spaces. Okay. Announces if all demons are on even spaces, odd spaces, or mismatched spaces. This is telling us all demons are on even. And do we have another apprentice? The preacher says 2 is good. And the cellist says, I'm not next to a disguised character. Okay, that's pretty big information too. I think that's going to mean that 10 might be evil. We have a corrupted alchemist. Select 1 character, trigger the effect of a random hint targeting that character. If corrupted, the free hint is corrupted. And then we have our second cook. So I believe because all demons are on even spaces, that was a really, really good hint. I think it just has to be 4 and 10. That satisfies the girl. That doesn't satisfy the magician. The apprentice is corrupted. The apprentice is corrupted by the three-eyed crone. So, one of these cooks is going to tell us that this card isn't corrupted. These hints are no good, and this cook is also going to tell us these hints are no good. That might be a timing thing. But yeah, this hint was actually not good. This hint was corrupted. And the reason that we know that is, yeah, the magician kind of made this house of cards come tumbling down. I'm not sure what just happened with the cooks, because both of these should be disguised and corrupted. But yes, we need to remember that the magician, apprentice, and alchemist are all always corrupted. 2 is good. I buy that. And the girl is only pointing at, like, this information is not nearly as powerful as it is in Demon. I'm sorry, it's way more powerful because it's not pointing at 2. It's not okay, but it could be pointing at either 5 or 4. Right, but it's not pointing at 2 because there's only we're only have to deal with the double claims in this game. That's what I'm getting at. Trigger the effect of a random hint targeting that character. Let's go for a random hint on the cook. And we learn that 6 is telling the truth. Yeah, we knew that 6 was telling the truth. So that was a waste of that. I should have used it on this, but I think we're going to be able to figure it out here regardless, because here's the deal. It has to be this cook.
I think the reason this cook was able to say these hints are no good is because it wasn't actually pointing at any hints, because the cook had already cooked this hint. So that means that all demons are not on even spaces. There is a demon on an odd space. No, that would make... Huh. If there's a demon on an odd space... But in order for this magician to be wrong, this scribe... Why is this girl with skull kite wrong? Is this a corruptible card? Girl with eye on hands, it says. I don't believe that to be the same thing. I don't know why this girl has wrong information then. The scribe information checks out regardless. I might want to use another hint, but in order for this magician to be corrupted, it should be this scribe. In order for this card to be corrupted, it should be this scribe. I just don't understand why the girl with skull kite... Unless it's actually the prophet doing something and some of these cards are considered evil. Oh, the preacher always looks at the card directly across from it. Okay, that's cute. Well, we can never lose this village. That's the thing. We could use some hint cards if we wanted to. But we can never lose here because we can always kill this one and then kill this one if we're wrong. But I am curious why exactly that happened. Maybe you can figure that out for me in the comments. There's definitely some new interesting mechanics in it from, compared to Demon Bluff and Dupery. But that is going to be it for me today for Cards Lie. Thank y'all very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.